Warp, episode 34, recorded on May 10th, 2009. I'm Brent Copeland.
I'm Wes Wilson.
And I'm Bill Stein.
Without a pause. Awesome.
That was beautiful.
You're getting there.
It's because Spencer wasn't here.
That's right. Spencer's not here. You might have noticed, yes, he has left the game in the world of Warhammer forever.
And he had a baby, and he's got the flu.
Yeah, swine flu. Swine flu. And all of that is a lie. He will be back next week. He just got back home from visiting in Huntsville. You might have noticed last week. And he's really tired and hasn't really had much time to play Warhammer because of travel. So he will be back next week. He even, I will give his story of the week now because he told me on the phone. His computer, he reinstalled it. And he actually reinstalled Warhammer. So it's a good time.
Yeah.
And I believe, Bill, he called you because he was debating whether or not to put Warhammer back on his machine.
Yeah, I think he was just joking. I told him he had to come back.
Okay.
Tier 4's been a lot of fun lately.
So we'll all thank you for that, then, getting him here. And, of course, we don't have a battle plan, as Spencer would tell you.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have a plan. We're just not going to follow it.
Yeah. I have a couple of websites pulled up. I'm ready to talk about some things.
Well, awesome. I do, too.
Awesome. It's going to be like a big talk fest.
Yes, almost like a podcast.
I know, that's gonna be cool.
People can listen to, four fat white guys talk about Warhammer.
I'm not fat. Shut up.
Okay. Anyway, so Week in War. This we'll start with Bill this week because I hear you've been having fun.
Yeah, Tier 4 has actually been a lot of fun lately. I hit Renown rank 59 last night.
What?
So I'm edging closer to 60, and I'll be able to put some Warlord gear on pretty soon. There's been a lot of RVR lately. Been lots of city fights, lots of fort fights. Some lost, some won. Some successfully defended, some not so. I was played on my Black Orc the other day and tanked Mount Gunbad, and that was pretty interesting. I've never played a tank in any of the any MMO I've ever played in before. So our group did pretty well. We got through a bunch of the PQs, but I'm level 31, so I'm kind of a little high for it, but that probably helped.
So does y'all's guild have the port directly to Gunbad thing yet?
Next guild rank we do. We're like 20% away from getting that. Which
do we have that?
Yeah, we've had that for a while.
Okay.
What?
No, we don't have that yet. I don't even know what rank that is.
That's guild rank 29, and you guys are guild rank what?
26.
Yeah, so we got 3 more.
So
we're not too far behind the Heralds of the Four.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened.
And you guys are super serial.
Well, this I'll talk about it in my week. What happened this week? How we got so many ranks. Anyway, continue.
I tried trying a new spec on my shaman. I'm going debuff, which is actually a lot of fun, and I think I'm gonna be playing that more often than not.
And so that's less healing.
It's a lot less healing. Shamans get this cool ability that they called sticky feats, which they can drop on an area, and it reduces everybody's movement speed that walks through that area by 60%. It pretty much crushes their elemental resist to 0. And basically, because all the shaman damage is elemental damage, it ups their damage through the roof. And so you just spam a couple AoE abilities, and you start dropping people left and right. And it's been a lot of fun.
Wow, that sounds really horrible.
Yeah. They have an ability called You're a Weakling, which it does damage, plus it takes strength away from the enemy. Well, there's a tactic you can put in where it hits everybody within 30 feet of your target. So you drop the sticky feats down, they can't move, and then you start hitting them with You're a Weakling, and they die off pretty fast.
Wow.
I like that.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I like killing people really fast. And I like the names of the abilities and spells.
Oh yeah, shamans have the coolest ability names, I think. Choppas are pretty cool too, but.
So let me ask you something. You said you hit 59 and at 60 you'll be able to wear Warlord gear. Are you already stacked with Warlord gear? You just can't wear it yet?
I have one Warlord piece so far. I just got my third Invader piece today. So I'm slowly building that up, but Invader is mostly damage shaman gears, which will work for my debuff spec. But Warlord is actually good healing gear for shamans, so that's what I need to work towards. And it's like the low 60s. I think 62 to 65 you can wear Warlord gear.
Well, cool. Well, is that about it for your week?
Yeah, there's a lot of RVR. I think we could talk about. I don't know if you want to save some of that for discussion of the week or.
Oh yeah, let's save it for that. We're going to be talking about taking forts and stuff like that today. So then Wesley.
Well, I like everybody heard in the show last week, I did have a baby. I haven't really been playing all that much. I did log on one day, and I poked around, but there was only 2 people on from our guild. I don't know, what was going on, but it was like Wednesday at like 10, I think.
Right.
And there was only like 2 people on from our guild, and for some reason, like I've gotten shy in Alliance chat lately. And I don't really know how to describe it, except for the fact that, I know I could probably, bark out, hey, is anybody doing anything? But I don't know.
You're scared they're all like, well, we're 40 and doing 40 stuff. And
yeah. And I don't think there's very many 36s running around. But now I talked with somebody the other day, and they're like, no, come and help. It's okay. 36 isn't bad,
Yeah. I mean, you're all set until, they run off to a fort.
Yeah. But anyway, so I just kind of ran around and did some more PvE stuff, and then my main frustration was I wanted to go and empty my bags of stuff, like the crafting stuff.
Okay.
Because I collected a bunch of level 200 crafting materials, and I was like, okay, we'll go back to. But IC had evidently been under attack for the 4th time that day.
Yeah, that's believable.
And I don't like that I can't go to IC and go to the bank.
So can you not go in there at all?
I mean, I haven't tried flying like to the maw and running in the front door.
Yeah.
I haven't tried that.
No. If you run into the front door from the maw, you'll actually enter an instance of the Inevitable City fight.
Right, but there is a bank in there.
Probably there might be a guy standing around that will act as a bank, but Order could kill him too. So it's
you stay away from there. But if you go, if in the apex, right? Mm-hmm. There's 4 basically corners to it, mm-hmm. And if you come in the front door of the apex, the one furthest to your right, there's actually guild bankers in there. A guild banker and a banker in there. Okay. Are there? I thought there was. Is there nothing in the mall? Is there no banker in the mall?
There's no banker in the mall, but there's like a career trainer, renown trainer, a bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah, most of the stuff you can do in the mall itself. Another thing you can do is if a guild has a fort somewhere and they've bought it up, sometimes they'll buy up the banker or the guild vault in there, so you could use that. Just an idea.
But anyway, it's frustrating.
There is a banker in the monolith in Inevitable City. He's hard to kill too for Order, so you can actually run a good chance that he'll be there. But you at 36 can go and play, fight in the Inevitable City. It's 30 plus.
I always
feel like it's a 40 only thing. You're more than welcome in there.
I have felt that way though. It's
chances are there is an alliance group going.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll go ahead and when we beat the suckers back, you get an invader crest.
Okay, well, cool. I'll do that next. I just was like,
at the end of the 2 hours, if it doesn't push to the next stage, you get an invader crest automatically.
And then if you don't win any loot, you get another invader crest.
Cool.
And I didn't even realize it, but you actually get the invader crest before the roll finishes, so you can tell if you get any loot or not before the end of the roll. It's kind of depressing when you go, wow, I got an invader crest already, and you're not done rolling. But as I've talked before, as a tank, most of the time those rolls I only have a plus 65 contribution anyway, so I'm not expecting to win anything.
Yeah.
I have done horrible on rolls lately.
As an AOE healer, I tend to do pretty well. On like whenever I'm involved in something.
I honestly think that it's completely random, and that's just how it is.
I disagree completely. There is very rare times that I am anywhere above like plus 65 or plus 50. And when it is, it's usually when I am like the main tank and getting a bunch of heals. So I think it has to do with that, is like how much you're getting healed by the healers. If that makes any, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
it's
if you're
going off
taking
saying
damage.
if Naker's really high on the list because he's doing a lot of healing, and you're getting a lot of that healing, then it's going to push you up on the list. Because, like, if I'm in a scenario with a group of Alliance members, I'm usually pretty high up there, like on the points and getting renown and getting
Yeah.
experience. Now, if I'm in a pug and I still do just as well in my head,
Yeah.
like I'm not always dying all the time, like nothing, like no renown, no, like the lowest renown on the whole thing, and it's so annoying,
Yeah.
you know. So
Well, how the renown works in a scenario is if you kill a player and I'm healing you, and you take, let's say you're down to 50% damage or 50% health, I will get renown for healing you, and because I'm bringing that renown in, that renown gets spread to the entire group, so that's when you get renown when I'm healing. So that's how you get a lot more renown when you run with a group together, especially because when we run an alliance group, we tend to run a more balanced group of, we got a couple DPS, one or two tanks, and one or two healers, so that we're able to maximize that renown. And because we're on vent together, we're able to kill better, more efficiently than a pug group would.
right. I still think that's broken though. I mean, I should be able to go into a pug, and if I'm doing the same stuff, I feel I should get just as much renown. I shouldn't walk out with 200.
I actually like that the game it benefits groups that are organized more, because you're doing things more efficiently. So, I mean, it's not that you aren't doing the same thing, it's that the entire group isn't doing the same thing. And the renown that you're getting, it may be based off the healer's renown, and so maybe he's not healing as well as the normal alliance healers, which is pretty obvious because
Well, but then again, that just says that you have to be, working with a group or you're screwed, right? Like if you're soloing.
That's how it should be. I like
But
that.
if you're a solo healer or you're a solo DPSer, that doesn't affect you. You're still going to be high up on the list. Because I know my Choppa, he is on that top of the list all the time because he's all in perps and he does the damage. And I'm almost always the highest one on the damage list, and I'm almost the highest one on the renown list.
Yeah, tanks might be getting screwed there because I think you get more renown if you're getting the killing blows.
Yeah,
So-
it's also damage and healing, right? So neither one of those do. I mean, I do a little healing of myself, and almost no damage because I'm a tank. You know what I mean? So it's kind of. I think that's where, basically, what we're saying is Black Orcs get in a group with people, who can heal you, and y'all work together. That's just how it is, and I don't agree with that, but just for you Black Orcs, do that.
Yeah, maybe they need to make it based on
Damage
how
taken.
much damage you take.
Except for someone
Yeah.
made a good point, which they would have to. I think they should pull guards out of scenarios completely anyway. But someone said if that was the case, they would just keep running into the guards. It seems like
Yeah.
they could, counter that, but who knows? You would think they could counter a bunch of things we talked about last week. Anyway,
But anyway, my week was fairly uneventful.
sorry for the derail.
That's okay. That's fine. So yeah, I will take your advice and I will begin volunteering my efforts more in the PvP stuff.
Yeah, because we have a couple guys who are leveling like zealot alts and stuff, and they're not 40, but they come along.
Yeah.
It's every healer is appreciated.
Oh yeah,
Okay. Well, good.
yeah. And to think about it, all the 40s in there. How much wasted experience is that, right?
Yeah.
Because they get
XP
absolutely
and
none.
renown.
Yeah.
So and you'll be getting both. I've always thought that once you hit 40, you should get more renown. Like basically, whatever percentage you would have gotten as XP, get that as renown instead.
Yeah.
Because that's basically what renown is, just a different form of XP.
Yeah.
But anyway, so my week was fairly uneventful. I didn't play that much. I was in the couple fort stuff and city pushes that I guess we'll get to in the fort stuff. Chip, one of our friends who works at Curse, came back. Curse Gaming. He started playing again, and he's playing a Disciple of Cain, which is good. I like those healers, and so I've been playing my Choppa with him, and it's been fun. XP seems really slow. Like my Choppa, I'd been playing I haven't done any quest or anything like that, and not really. Some PQs, been doing PQs and RVR, and I've been leveling like crazy. But as soon as I group up with someone else and start doing PQs and quest, it's like experience is so slow, so horrible, and that just doesn't seem anyway. It's still been fun, but that's about it for me. So on to the Herald. The War Herald. Anybody see any juicy nuggets in the War Herald this week? I know they are in Baltimore.
Yeah, did you see pictures of the cake?
Yeah, that cake was insane.
I thought it was going to be a cake, like just a flat cake, and I looked at that and I was like, that's a statue. Damn.
Yeah. Have you seen this, Wes?
No.
It is a squig.
Yeah.
With the squig herder inside him.
It's a squig armor, basically.
Yeah. And it's a cake?
It's about 2 feet high. It's got legs.
I wonder if the
I thought it was a statue.
I wonder if the Ace of Cakes guys did it.
Yes.
They did?
Yes. I think, right? Ace of Cakes.
You know what I'm talking about?
There's some
that
specialty
TV show.
Yes.
Well, that's cool.
They are the ones.
Then maybe I'll watch that episode and see the cake being made.
Oh, I wonder if they will do an episode of it.
Probably, if they made a squig cake.
And what we're talking about is the Baltimore Games Day. It was on May 9th, yesterday. And Warhammer was there in full effect, and they were giving out, of course, some cool stuff, like the Chomping Teeth, the Spikes. They added some new things, the Shroud of Emerathopus, which I guess is just some kind of regenerating minor wounds and injuries and stuff. You get some health back, I guess. And a white dwarf beard. So, of course, if anybody has extras, send them in. We love extras.
We got a couple of people in the guild with them, and I will be definitely getting some of that.
And it does say here, was created by Charm City Cakes, the special one-of-kind Warhammer themed cake, stars of the Food Network hit TV show Ace of Cakes. So
Sweet.
It may not be on Ace of Cakes, but they are
It'll totally end up on Ace of Cakes.
Cool. That'd be awesome.
In like a year and a half.
But that's I didn't really see much else in the Herald that excited me. They had some hot fixes and servers going up and down, things like that.
Did you see any of the things that were featured that are going to be coming out in the new kind of expansion for what's coming out?
I didn't. It wasn't in the Herald, but I heard some people talking about it, and I didn't really get much info. If you have some, I'd love to hear it.
One of the things is you're now going to be able to set auto rolls for loot. You can set it to ask you can set it to roll, automatically need, automatically greed, stuff like that, automatically pass. That I liked. Also, you can opt out of the loot roll for PQs.
Does that mean we're going to get auto douches in there that just like need on everything?
Probably, yeah.
Auto need on everything.
How it would be set up.
Sweet.
But I mean, those two things seem pretty cool. The opting out of PQs, which I honestly, unless you're going back to do old PQs, I don't see that people are going to opt out anymore. People don't opt out of the RVR ones because you get the officer crest now. Right. So it's kind of like they finally gave us something we've been asking for, and now no one wants to use it.
Yeah. I guess there'll be a few people who have gotten everything or something. It'd be nice as if you still got something for opting out, like you opt out but you still get badges.
Maybe.
But I guess then people would just do that and double up on the badges, so that wouldn't work. But anyway, go on. You got more nuggets?
That was the two big things I saw there.
Well, that'll be cool.
And the squid cake, but.
And I'm sure we'll be hearing much more news about it. I know Warhammer Alliance was there, and for Curse too. So we probably have a lot of information out there, and there will be more in the next couple of days. So check out Curse, Warhammer Alliance, Massively, MMORPG.com, and 10 Ton Hammer are some of the folks that were there for coverage. And you know what? Next time we might be there, right?
Yeah.
Fly us out there.
That'd be great.
And yeah, sure. And now I've lost my place, so I'm gonna look for that.
We need a robot.
The Herald has links up to Massively, 10 Ton Hammer, and MMORPG.com links to it, and the Curse Warhammer Alliance link.
And speaking of all these sites, I did want to do a big old shout out to a bunch of the folks over at Warhammer Alliance. We're actually in a group called the War Community Promotion Initiative, which is a bunch of podcasts and blogs and websites that kind of when someone has a news or something special, some article, something like that, we like to push it out amongst everybody to kind of get more info about it. And last week's episode we thought was a big enough episode that we sent the call out to the guys in the initiative to put the word out on their blogs and say something about it, and they came out in full force, and we got links everywhere to that show because of it. And I can't thank everybody there enough for all the links and well wishes and just that in general. We haven't said anything about it yet in this episode, about the War Buddy episode we did last week. We haven't really gotten any hate so much, I think, but we've got a lot of positive responses. We did get in touch with some people from Mythic who were discussing them being on the show. Right now, the problem is they will not discuss War Buddy or Warmate or any program that exploits the game. And it's kind of difficult to do a show and then talk all about that, and then you have them on and then not say anything about it. It's like, look, you've got an elephant sitting right there in front of you.
Yes.
Can we talk about it? So I'm kind of saying it now. We're still hoping to have them on the show, and whether we can discuss that or not, it sounds like definitely not, but whether that means they will or won't be on the show. We have a thread in our forums at deadworkers.com/community where you can leave questions that you want us to ask them. If we do have them on the show, go ahead and post there. And they actually like to vet questions. I don't think so much in the realm of preparing. I mean, sure, some of it's preparing, but I think a lot of it is so they don't have these interviews where it's just, we can't talk about that.
Yeah.
No, we can't talk about that.
Yeah.
No, we can't talk about that.
And they don't want gotcha moments. Like if, you whip something out and say, well, what about this?
Yeah.
They don't want any of that.
Yeah. So, and we don't want that either. We just want good information, and we would like them to be able to talk about it in their own words. So
yeah.
We're still looking at probably having them on and, like I said, getting those questions ready. So that's pretty much it with the War Buddy as it is now. We're still there's some posts. We'll link to it on the forums that we've talked about it there and tried to get more people aware of it. I don't know if we don't keep pushing it and talking about it. I don't know if anyone will, though. It seems like one of those issues that after the hubbub goes up about it, it's just going to die out and no one's going to think about it. And just when they see someone do something, then it will come up again.
Yeah.
But just for them.
So I got a couple responses on that last week. Do you want to, from in-game, from specifically what I saw, do you want to talk about that real quick?
Definitely.
Okay, so what I described last week about a Bright Wizard be self-resing and then falling through the earth, or going underneath the earth, and then attacking us. Apparently, now what I've heard from is a couple people on the order side, is that there was a warrior priest there who had fallen through the earth, then rezzed the Bright Wizard, and then they decided to attack us from there. And they basically said it was they admitted that it was an exploit, and they said it was just that they fell through geometry in the game. So they said they weren't using War Buddy or anything like that. So whether or not you believe all that or not, that was the explanation I got from the warrior priest who claimed to have rezzed this Bright Wizard and the Bright Wizard himself. So,
well, it's nice to actually get some sort of response about it, whether it's them, either way, it's like, would you put it past them not using it if they're going to use an exploit anyway? I mean, but,
Have you ever fallen through a geometry problem and not plummeted endlessly and died?
I've never fallen through geometry other than, like, maybe once.
I've fallen through geometry 3 times in the game, and each time I fell to my death.
Yeah, I've always fallen to my death.
Yeah, which is why that kind of makes me suspect to what they were saying.
Yeah, it's almost like it seems like they don't have a ground underneath their ground, right?
Yeah, no,
so it's
they
like
don't.
if you go through that geometry, you're just gone.
Yeah.
So
now,
I don't
one
know.
thing a lot of people have been complaining about lately is getting stuck on regular things like rocks and having to reload UI to get off of them.
Yeah, I had
grass.
That little crypt in the north part of Prague that's got the PQ in it, where the orb of more people are. there's a little rock in there, and both me and the guy I was PQing with last week kept getting stuck on this one rock. And, and he'd sit there and kind of wiggle and jump and try to, and he's off running and I'm the healer and I'm like, wait, I'm stuck. And then later on he got stuck on it, and that's pretty wacky.
So reload UI will get you off those items?
A lot of times it will, like, just get you unstuck off of it, yeah.
Okay, because I
Don't
always
ask
have to
me why that
use
works.
stuck or unstuck. I forget what the command is. /stuck.
Yeah, but then that logs you out, and
Right.
there's a lot of times that happens, like, in a fort, or...
Yeah. I'm
Even
in a
reloading
fort.
UI is annoying because it takes 30 seconds or so, and it just shouldn't be happening,
Yeah.
But so
Yeah, it seems kind of
regardless,
odd.
Yeah, I don't know what if that was true about the whole warrior priest getting all that. I don't know if that really happened. To me, it doesn't matter either way. Either way, the onus is on Mythic to fix either geometry or whatever. Fix that.
Right.
So that stuff doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But
regardless of what they're saying, we know War Buddy's out there. We know people are using it. We know it works. I don't know what else you need than that to say, hey, we need to fix it.
yeah,
It's not like you got to be, everybody's got to be using it before we fix it.
Did you try using the walk underground feature when you experimented with it?
No, I actually didn't.
Okay.
I didn't.
I'd be interested to see how that works.
So, and
Now-
yes?
I do think that War Buddy is not as out there as much as people have thought. I've actually kind of said to people on our event to just stop complaining about it, just because it's out there and it's annoying, but at this point we're not getting a response from Mythic on our event, so just don't bitch about it. That's kind of the policy we've had to take on Ventrilo, because too much complaining and accusing people of it. Now I think there may be a dozen people on the server who have it, but that's too much. A lot of it is probably lag issues, but it gets to the point where they're during lag people start accusing everybody of having it.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that can get annoying.
Well, no, I mean, just in general, I'm that way with most games. I mean, if there's not anything that anybody can help with, after a little while of complaining, we used to get that sometimes in TF2. You'd get somebody complaining about something, and then after a little while, you're like, just shut up, and it's not that you don't necessarily like the person or don't think their complaint is valid. It's just after a certain point in time, that complaint no longer does anything but infuriate the people in the community.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it's something that we can't do anything about on Vent, enough's enough. Just chill out.
Yeah.
But one thing I just saw in the chat that I got reminded about the Baltimore Games Day thing is they're talking about changing how wards work, in that they will be unlocked by your tome unlock, but through tome unlocks, and then you won't necessarily have to wear the gear that's warded. So the wards won't apply to the gear; they'll be applied to the player, and then you'll just have those wards.
So it'd probably be like defeat this boss that normally drops the headpiece or the shoulder piece with the ward, and you'll just get the ward unlock.
It could be, or it could be. That's a good idea. I thought of it as you get the Annihilator helmet, and that has a lesser ward on it, and now you have a lesser ward helmet slot, and you don't necessarily need to wear that Annihilator helmet in the future, but you always have that ward slotted to you.
Yeah.
Right.
So who knows how they're going to do it? They haven't released all the details on it yet, and they haven't even said when it's coming out.
I'll just say personally, I hope they do it per creature, just for the sheer fact that you get them faster.
Yeah, but they don't have a lot of dungeons in the game. See, I agree with people that I see everybody's point on, you don't want to have to run the city runs 50 times to get your gear, but if you only have to run it once to get your gear, then the end game's gonna die fast.
Well, I don't do city dungeons yet.
Why not?
Because he's a snob.
I'll do them every once in a while. Like if someone says, "Hey, we need a tank," I'll go help. But they're not enjoyable to me. What? I mean, it just seems like a pain in the rumpus when we're in there. It's just.
What's a rumpus?
Here's what you got to do. You got to get on Vent, have some alcohol, and plan to just go through it as fast as possible. And it turns into you just start laughing because, like I pull mobs with my shaman, and I just be like, hey, here you go, here's some more coming, and I'll just run into the Sork's Pit of Shades and wait for the mobs to de-aggro me. You play around with it. You just gotta have a good time.
Maybe
it gets boring if you go too slow.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we were going slow because we couldn't kill those dog things too well.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I'll know what you're talking about one day.
I think you can already do something like that. I don't know.
I know. I'm going to start doing it this week. This week, I tell you.
Doing it. Doing it. Dun,
doing
dun,
it round.
dun.
We need to just power level Wes, I think.
No, that would make me feel like a dirty cheater.
So you can power level me then. I'll do some renown power leveling. Like let's next time we do a fort, everybody leave and just let me get the bump.
Yeah.
Or the keeps.
That's exactly what you do.
Yeah.
You think we can plan that? How about we all get everybody to become chickens and let my order guy kill them all?
That's
No?
no.
Is that what they refer to as cross-realming?
I don't know.
Yeah. Probably.
Probably. Oh, well, let's don't do that then. I'll just go get War Buddy. That should fix it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so speaking of violations, you know, I we probably skipped a different part, but I wanted to mention I got I can no longer fight with what's his name, Klaus on the forums.
Really?
I got a violation that said that we are not conducive to good conversations, the two of us together. So,
well, you know.
Sorry, Klaus, I can't talk with you anymore on the forums.
Is that like a mythic restraining order?
It is. It is. I can actually read it out to you. It says, this warning is in reference to recent posts on the Volkmar server forums. I discussed the rivalry between you and Abriel, that's Klaus, right, Abriel?
Yeah.
And the derogatory post with our forum administrator. So they went up the chain to the forum administrator. And it's highly recommended that you both ignore each other when posting replies and discussion threads to keep from further actions being taken against your posting privileges. Egging each other on adds nothing constructive to the topics. It is not acceptable forum behavior and needs to stop. I didn't really feel like we were egging each other on. I think he's a moron, and whenever he posted, it seems moronic.
Yeah. Well, I found that if you can make it funny, you can get away with saying almost anything about anyone.
Well, that's what I said. I replied to her and said, well, can you just tell them to quit making stupid posts? So, I don't know. We'll see how that works. So, once again, derailed. Where are we?
I don't know.
We are onto our... and then we went to our War Buddy discussion.
Yeah.
About everything that was going on with that. So I think we've beat that one for this episode, I think. So let's move on to how to take a fortress.
I don't even know.
There's been a couple things that have been going on because of a lot of the fortress fights. There's been some interesting things. The other day, we defended a fortress, and Order had a conniption about it because I don't know if you remember that standards used to be cause collision. What is that in your mouth?
It's pizza.
So what Destro did was they stacked standards around the Lord Room and used them to block the doorways. But so Order complained in the forums that they were blocked off and that was exploiting. But we did some testing out with one of the Order players that I talked to, and standards don't cause collision, so you can run through them. So that's a big key in knowing how to take a fort. The other big thing that we saw today in trying to take a fortress is that you really need one person to call the charge. You have to get everybody into the room below the Fort Lord and get all your tanks in a line, and just everybody gets ready to move all at once. Generally how that is done is once you get there, you count maybe, you got the timer that's running down in the upper right hand corner of your screen, and you need to really say, all right, it's 42 minutes left right now. At 40, we're going to go up the stairs and we're going to push the tank wall. That was our biggest problem today, is that there was no coordination to go up the stairs all together, and so we'd send 4 or 5 tanks up, they'd get wiped, 4 or 5 tanks up, they'd get wiped. So it became a huge Charlie Foxtrot today, trying to take a fort. The biggest problem is on our server is that we have one big alliance that attempts to kind of run its own deal, and then there's other alliances out there that are trying to coordinate with them. But it's a difficult thing. I am starting to feel more agreeing more with the Order players in that it's not a numbers problem that Destro has anymore. It's an organizational problem, and that comes from egos getting too flared up.
You think so? I mean, some situations, yes, but to me it seems like something happens and Order can field 200 people immediately. Like they're always on, and then Destro can field basically 100 immediately. It seems like at any one time, that's kind of the numbers.
We put 150 out on Friday night at least.
But isn't that one of the push nights?
No, it's not.
For like all the alliance? No, it's just was an average night and everybody showed up.
Yeah, no. We pushed the fort in Greenskin. Destro or Order pushed the fort in Chaos, and we ended up with both sides were fighting it out in Dragon Wake. And you get the problem where these alliances don't coordinate, so that we got Destro. We turtled up inside Covenant of Flame and upgraded it up. We wiped out Order, and instead of pushing out to attack, you've got the big alliances who just wanted to turtle back up inside the keep and not push. So we had a problem of, we've got people, our numbers start to split up. I think it's a big Destro issue that we have as an organization. It comes from one big alliance who doesn't want to play well with others.
I've heard that on other servers as well.
Well, we need to fix that. How do we fix that?
Well, before the transfers, all the Volkmar alliances worked together well. We had one Ventrilo that we got into, and it was each of us had 1 or 2 or 3 war bands, and this we said, all right, you're gonna go here, you're gonna go there. It worked very, very well. Plus, we had an in-game channel that we talked on. Now it's this big alliance. They won't work with anyone. They won't go to any other vent most of the time unless you twist their arm to do it. And they'll push on their own nights or whatever. They won't work with the other alliances out there, so they'll show up with their 3 war bands, and then they'll run into 150, 200 order, and then on our RVR nights we'll run into 150, 200 order. Where if we all kind of coordinated, we'd have 150, 200 Destro at least.
Well,
he's totally calling you out, Brett.
I'm not calling me out.
Yeah, he is. You're the one that's been saying it's a numbers game.
I had a couple of alliance leaders put me on ignore today because we left a fort that was failing badly because they were trying to call the push and it wasn't working.
Well, that's probably the way to get everybody working together, reaching out to them like that.
Yeah, trying still.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if that's what it is, then are we just screwed then? I mean, if we have the numbers and the numbers just aren't going to work together, how do it? It seems like you're just stuck.
Well, I talked to another alliance leader today, and they said it's basically there's kind of like 2 factions on our server for Destro. There's a couple guilds who want to do it their way, and then this one guy, I kind of got a weird compliment today that he said that our alliance led the charge to the last Altdorf push, and he said only these couple other guilds don't realize that, and so I don't know. It's I know it's all politics, but I think it's what's killing Volkmar right now.
Well, all these I won't say little guilds, all guilds, all alliances have to realize that if they don't work together with other alliances, you're going to be at the same exact spot 2 months from now, 3 months from now, because you can't do it by yourself. This is a game where a guild can't do it by themselves, and an alliance can't do it by themselves unless they are a humongous alliance. So put down the egos and start working together. Let's all do this. Let's kill some more. I mean, it's like we're all trying to do the same thing. It's not like you're Order 2 and we're destruction, and so we're fighting each other. We're all destruction.
Yeah. I will say the most frustrating points in the game are when we fail to coordinate, because we'll be so close to taking something and it just fails because of lack of coordination.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen plenty of times where, I'm dead in the fort room, and you look downstairs, and wow, there's a lot of people just sitting there in the corners, not doing anything. Tanks and melee. It's like, where were you? What, we could have just won this, and that is frustrating.
Which is why you got to have that coordinated one person call the charge, and the other alliances need to get that on board that, hey, this person's calling the charge. So in the people, that person needs to step up and say, all right, we're going in 2 minutes, and this is when we're gonna go. And then people need to get in line and move, and not stand there and go AFK or whatever the hell they're doing.
Right, and that seems something that goes along the way even in the city siege we were in the other night. There's just we were trying to do pushes and take the monolith, and there's just half a warband of people just sitting there at the entrance doing nothing, and it's like this is awesome. I wish we could win if we had the then it's still a numbers game, but it's it's like, why are these people here? Oh, to sit here and get their invader crest.
Yeah, that gets really annoying when people will just sit there and do nothing to get their invader crest. And that goes back to why I think that the city instances should just be 24 and 24.
Right.
That way you get your warband in, you're locked in, and you have people. It's within expectation that you can get 24 people to coordinate. 48 starts getting a little tough.
Yeah, I mean, if they're all in the same alliance, it'd definitely be much easier. But they don't make it easy to get all those people in the same instance. It's almost like if they made it where you could queue up 2 warbands or something at the same time to go in the same instance, then it wouldn't be as difficult. It'd be more fair fight and more fun. I mean, that's just it. It's make it fair. Even those nights when you just steamroll them, it's not really that much fun because you're just steamrolling them.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm lying. It's pretty fun when you steamroll them.
I like the city fights where you don't even care about the objective or flipping the PQ. You just go and stand in the middle of the IC and slobber knocker it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we had a fight in for the city. What? No, was that last night? Night before last? It was last night.
Yeah, last night.
And it was what's their names? Halcyon blah blah.
Halcyon Affinity.
Yeah, they were holding Monolith, and they were doing a really good job because they had they must have had communication going really well, and we were just kind of, hey, let's go attack the Monolith. But once we got there, communication kind of died, and once we finally got that communication down and started calling out targets, and everybody started going for the right targets, healers, and the correct healers.
I know. I'm on the other side of that.
And we took them down, and we got them off the Monolith, and I think that's a lot of it. I think Destro, I think you're right. It suffers from egos, but I think we've also been beaten kind of down so much over these past months, and just how everything's been kind of working out, that a lot of people are kind of lackluster, I guess. They kind of get in the fights, and they're just kind of going through the motions. And I want to hear that again, where people are calling targets, where people are kind of pushing the group themselves to do better, and not just being there in the group. Because I think at that point, that's when we start steamrolling everything. Because that seems to be what we're missing. We got the head honchos, right?
You did a great job calling targets last night. That when I put you on that, you did a great job, and people started following you.
Well, thanks. It wasn't hard. I mean, I just picked out a healer and called their name out. I don't think anybody can do that, so just do that and kill the healers.
One thing I did was I hadn't done before was I made you the main assist in the group.
Right.
And Alteron said in Vent last night that if you hit F8, I guess that automatically assists the main assist. And so I think once he said that, people started assisting you more.
Okay. And
so
and one thing just on the tank end, and I don't know if this was confusing people, was I was doing at the beginning of the night I was doing a lot of tab targeting, trying to find the
Yeah.
healers. And I think that's if people are trying to assist you and they're going to keep hitting that assist until you have a target. If you're switching targets a lot, you're still going to get people mixed up on different targets.
Well, I think
so at the
that's
end of the
why
night,
once you are set, you just call it invent, and then people know.
yeah. And I was doing that, and then I started trying not to tab target as much and just as stupid as it is, click targeting, because the tab targeting still sucks so bad. It's like
it's very short range.
Oh man, well, and I'll have my target right there in front of me, and I'm just hitting tab, and it's like, why is this going on forever? Used to, I could look down at the floor, and if all I had was one person in my view, it would tab to them immediately. It seems like they've broken that or something, and now I can like tab 8 times and never hit that person.
Yeah.
So I started pointing and clicking. So. Other things in Fort, I've seen something that Order seems to do a lot is they get through our lines and head straight to the balconies. Tons of them. And that seems to be fairly effective.
Yeah, definitely, because you get healers out there, they can start getting people up. Because even though the Fort Lord may be aggro, there are like momentary times where you can res people, and I don't know if Order has a similar tactic, but Shamans have an instant res tactic where instead of going through a 3-second cast and then just resing the person, they res instantly and then are stunned for 3 seconds. But that is great in forts. I find that to be very, very, very useful for picking up people in the half a second time where the Fort Lord's not aggroed for some reason.
That's I hear y'all calling that out, and which is a good thing because then people know you're stunned. I never knew that stunned you though, until just now.
Yeah, the instant res stuns you for 3 seconds, which can be a little annoying in lag because that 3 seconds lasts longer. But if it means getting up more people, then you do it.
Well, this is one of the reasons it's good to know other classes' abilities, like your own abilities, because just knowing that, now I know that if I hear you say that, or if I know my healer says that, that I need to kind of prep myself, maybe throw out my tier 4 morale ability or something to last just a little bit, make sure I can get through 3 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Until you can heal me some more, something like that.
Well, it usually takes 3 seconds before the person accepts the res and then fully spawns onto you anyway. So but in lag, that gap gets bigger. But usually it's not too bad.
Anything else on Fort fights?
No, I just think it's a big issue on our server with the lack of coordination in Destro. I'm starting to think that that's more of our downfall than numbers. I still think we are maybe a little slightly outnumbered. I mean, certainly, but I think it's more coordination than it is being outnumbered.
We're going to hear this on the forums now, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. I haven't called out the guild or the alliances yet, though. But
is that coming next?
Those people who put me on ignore today know who they are.
And they probably don't listen to the podcast anymore, so thanks a lot.
I know one of them does.
Uh-oh. So if you're listening, take them off ignore. Let's work together. Here's some pizza right here. I'm holding it towards the camera. Wherever it is.
That pizza looks good, too.
It's Domino's. Stay fresh with hot Domino's pizza. And send us money, Domino's.
Cash the Domino's check.
Yeah, I wish. So I guess we can just move on then.
Yeah.
For today, we're gonna move on to. I guess we don't have that. We have Shermadar's tour of T3 of the week. Now, Shermadar joined our guild this week. I know that makes you fairly envious there, Nacor, since he joined Misfits of the Warp instead of Heralds of the Four. But he did. And he sent in another bite for Tier 3. And here it is.
A little better. How to make pickup groups and scenario groups work a little better. So in pickup groups and scenario groups, in general, most of the people you play with are not people from your guild. You don't have the same amount of communication. You don't have all the usual benefits. And the biggest problem is that you have about 15 seconds to try and organize something, if you want to organize something, or everybody's just going to run to the middle and try and slug it out. The easiest way to do this is to try and create an opt-in scenario. In this case, what you would do when you enter the scenario is leave your group, establish a new group. So if it's a 2-group scenario, you would become group 3 and say to everybody in the scenario, okay, I formed group 3 and we are going to do X. Now, it has some benefits, it has some drawbacks. If you're the only person in group 3, 3 minutes into the scenario, just join one of the normal groups. There's no reason to stick out by yourself. The nice thing is that the people who are going to join group 3 are people who are actually interested in trying to do the same thing that you want to do. Whether that's take a flag, whether that's defend, attack, try and do a flanking maneuver, or whatever you want to do. Since it's an opt-in scenario, the only people that are going to join are the ones interested. This is much easier to accomplish than to try and tell people what to do, because, well, there are no repercussions, so why would I listen to somebody that tells me what to do? Also, people in general don't like being told what to do, especially not in a game which, to a certain degree, does play to people's power trip enjoyment. You know, that's why you have to join Sword.
Sword.
So I'll edit that in. But okay, Shermadar, thanks again for that call-in. He's got another one already set up next week that we're going to play, so we appreciate that great deal. And you know, it's like we were talking about. There, people do have power trips in this game, and they don't like to be. Well, a lot of people don't like to be told what to do, especially when they're playing their alts. Right.
Well, the worst thing the thing that really bugs me is when I'm in a pug or something and someone just starts to telling me to do something, but there's no I don't see any reason for it, and they don't take the time to explain it to me.
Yeah.
That's the thing that drives me nuts. Is, you know, then, you know, when people when you start getting the complaints, you know, why aren't people doing what I'm saying? And it's because I don't understand why you would want me to do that.
Yeah.
You know, and that will generally give me a little pause to be helpful.
Little doggy paws.
It's less about ego.
Little puppy paws.
Yeah, it's less about ego and more about just not
information.
Yeah, not feeling compelled on a logical basis.
No, I can see that definitely.
I hate the scenario generals. They're annoying.
The what?
Yeah.
Oh.
Why are you all attacking? Why aren't you doing this? Yeah. Because you're annoying. And if you weren't annoying, maybe I'd do what you say.
Absolutely.
And on that note, we got the War Fan Site of the Week, which is, I'm actually going to go with the WarhammerAlliance.com. Most people know about this site already. It is pretty much the Warhammer site. It was the forums before Mythic made the forums. They were the Baltimore Games Day, so they're going to have some info there. Frank has helped us get in touch with Mythic, so that was really nice of him, and we appreciate that. And it also put me in touch with all these other bloggers and stuff that I talked about earlier. And I'm going to try to get a full list of all the people who posted a link to us for last show and everything, and definitely get them on the show like next week. And we appreciate all of you guys and Warhammer Alliance. And I don't know. Does anybody have anything else this week?
Nope, I'm it.
That's it for me.
I've got to say that hopefully by next week I will know how that dang collar works that's supposed to put people up a couple levels, because I bought 2 game cards. I basically told myself I'm going to play 3 more months now, because I bought 2 cards and I'm giving one to Sabrina, who just started a while ago, or a week ago, a couple weeks ago. And I'm going to give one to Chip for starting back again. And so that should get me the collar for the Recruiter Friends, and then I can talk about that, because I've really just been wanting to talk about it and see how it works. But that means I will have 2 more months to have to play, plus the 1 month that I have saved up from the other Recruiter Friends. If things are still going well, I might get the other 2 in right around on the Hippogriff.
That would be pretty sweet.
And tell you how that is.
Yeah. I've
been having a lot of fun lately. I was pretty close to quitting probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, and even resub Lord of the Rings Online. But I've been having a lot of fun lately. I will say that much.
You think it's venting has helped, being able to vent these frustrations in kind of a public forum and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's helped a lot. I think it definitely, I don't know, it just maybe the RVR has stepped up, and so we need to get more people in our alliance out RVRing, but we're probably going to have to do some changing out of the people in the alliance. Some of the guilds aren't very active anymore.
Right.
One of the guilds left today. Headhunters left today.
Okay.
So.
Left the alliance.
Yeah, they left the alliance. I guess they're the Brazilian guild.
Right.
So most of their players speak Portuguese, but they have a good number of English-speaking players too. But their problem is, they just, as a guild, they were changing their focus.
Okay.
So it was, it gets frustrating when we go do, an alliance event and you see 70 people online in the alliance and we have, 2 groups of players doing something.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree there. I think if you're in an alliance and in a guild that's an alliance, you need to support that alliance and guild as best as you can. I do understand if you can only be on for half an hour or 30 minutes, not to, sometimes you want to just jump in and do something else, and that's fine. But also, try to make an effort that when something's going on, go and help out, and don't be asking for people to come tank your pug.
Yeah, because it really is, realm versus realm is really just that. You really got to get everybody on board if you're going to be able to do stuff. So, yeah, we really got to get the numbers out there.
And apparently, from what Bill says, Order does it much better than us, and I don't like that. That kind of irks me. So we're calling you out, Destruction. Get out in the field and let's kill some Order together.
Absolutely.
So, with that being said, we still have a contest going on because we haven't decided a winner yet. And we will do our best to do that within the... we kind of got sidetracked with the whole War Buddy stuff, so we'll try to get that figured out by the next podcast or two. If you are looking for a guild and a group that loves to RVR, join us on Volkmar in either Misfits of the Warp or... what was that other one?
Heralds of the Fun Bags.
Come on, Bill. You've been doing this for a while now.
Heralds of the Four.
Heralds of the Four. And I will tell you right now, the Misfits of the Warp is we're really kind of a slacker guild. We got a lot of great people, but we don't really push anybody in the guild. It's definitely kind of a podcasty thing, If you listen to the podcast and you enjoy it and you come over to the server for that reason, come on over. If you're on Destruction and you're looking for, a guild, Heralds of the Forest, great guild. There's great people in there as well. And one day they will, probably join Misfits of the Warp.
Right.
Once I'm working on it, Bill. I'm just letting you know we've now gone down to a month of no activity and you're getting booted from the guild. So
yeah, we're at 2 weeks, and I've been thinking about trimming that down to 1.
Well, then you'll have 5 people, right? The 5 people that show up every week.
Right, or something just like that.
Well, yeah, whatever. We're down to almost 150 people though, active.
Yeah, we're at 60 or so.
Yeah. So y'all catch up one day.
And we just recruited another member of the guild, so. Awesome. I just got a X-Fire message, so we've actually got we gain about 4 or 5 new members a week.
Yeah, we do that at night. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Right, a night. Mm-hmm. And they're just they're all accounts under the name of Brent Copeland.
No, that's not true. But it is usually they're usually lower level characters moving over to the server. So I will say that in the aspect, if you are looking for a guild to level up in, we run the gambit on that. Heralds of the Forest definitely, if you're 40 and moving over to our server, it's definitely a good guild to get in because they've got a lot of people in that realm. We're working on it.
Yeah, we're definitely very end game focused. We had a guy join today who was 22, and I was like, listen, I'm gonna tell you, there's not gonna be many people in the guild other than alts that are leveling around that range, so you might find a good Sunday morning crew, but when it comes to weeknights, people are on their 40s, so.
Yeah, so did you say you should probably go over to the Misfits of the Warp?
No.
Thanks a lot, man. I sent you some guy just a few minutes ago.
You didn't send me anyone, actually.
Just a few minutes ago. You probably got an email about it or something, X-Fire message
right.
about it.
No, actually, that was someone from another guild in the Alliance.
Man, I can't put anything past you.
Yeah, well, that's how it works.
That's how it works. Okay, so anyway, Iron Rock, we have a guild over there, but why bother even trying to get an invite because no one plays it anymore. So I guess that's the show.
Woot!
It's a good show.
That was decent.
I'm here to laugh at your jokes.
Fair to middling.
Hey, the podcast got a lot of props this week, though, through the forums, and a lot of people sent me tells saying, hey, this great show.
Yeah, I think we're going to change the name to the Naker Show.
I was thinking the Alliance should be named Naker's Disciples.
Oh, yeah? How would that go over?
I think it would go over very well.
Why don't we do this? Here's a compromise. Okay, y'all think about this. We name the Alliance Misfits of the Warp, and the Misfits of the Warp joins with Heralds of the Four.
That would be fine.
Really? I'm all for that.
So then, we just get rid of the guild, Misfits of the Warp. Maybe make it like a.
I'll keep my alts in it for the
guild?
bank space, baby.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I figured.
Plus, there's some good rank there that it would be a shame to waste.
Well, they were talking about there's some guilds with like rank 34 that basically died out. Who was that? Was that Alterin? Was he in an old guild or something?
Paragon was a very, very strong guild. One of the first guilds to help kind of really organize Destro, but the guild just completely fell apart. And there's a couple people you see walking around with the tag, and it's always kind of brings a little nostalgia back for me. But yeah, they're ranked 34 guild with like 5 people in it.
Ouch. And see, it seems like we would definitely keep some sort of access to the warp. So it's just like, hey, we need to get a guild of at least this rank to capture such and such. We could pop someone in, give them the tag at least, so they could run over and cap it. Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish you could claim more than one guild or more than one keep at a time.
Man, it's expensive. I mean, yeah, that's right. Their tax rate.
We're floating it, not a problem. Well, our taxes are sitting around 40% now. We dropped them down from 50.
Wow.
And we're maintaining.
I see how this goes. We raise taxes to compete, and you're lowering taxes.
Hey, in Obama's America, the taxes have to go down.
Oh, wow. You wish. We all wish.
Well, actually, the other night when we were doing PQs to help flip Thunder Mountain, we raised taxes to 85% for a couple hours.
That's pretty good. So what's the bank at? What's y'all's bank at?
I think we're sitting around 1,100 gold.
That's nice.
That is nice.
We sit around 200.
But see, like probably 3-4 nights a week, we claim a keep and max it out so that it's costing us 2 gold every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Oh, we've had a couple of those.
Why would you 2 gold every 5 minutes?
Yeah, but that increases the door hit points by like 500%. So you actually have time to get defenders to it.
Can you unrank it?
Yeah, you unrank it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, if you flip a zone while you're holding a keep like that, the guild leader gets a gold bag that they can share.
Okay, got
with
a little tip on that. I don't know. Are we still going with the show?
Yeah, do it.
Oh. What I found out is the bag gets mailed to the guild leader. The guild leader can open the bag and look inside and say it's a chess piece. And then you can go to the guild mates and say, who needs a chess piece for Annihilator? And then send that person the bag. It changes to the chess piece that, for their class, but it still stays a chess piece. Or if it's a helmet, it stays a helmet.
Oh.
It's actually, it's working out really, really well that way. Because we've gotten 3 or 4 bags so far. But on that note, there is a bug where if you take the fort in the zone where you have a keep claimed, you're supposed to get a gold bag of the fort strength too, the Conqueror bags. That is not working right now.
Okay.
Well, just next time you get a bag and you need to mail it off, I need a headpiece, a chest piece, some feet pieces, some a belt, some pants, maybe some trinkets, and some weapon.
What renown rank are you?
19.
Yeah. No. Sorry. You need a lot more renown ranks before that.
19?
19, yeah. No, 19.
I thought I was doing bad at mine, almost 40.
Actually, no, it's not. It's not 19. 40. I'm lying. It's I think I'm up to 23 now.
Okay, let's working on it.
Yeah.
I've got a ways to go. I don't know. Do tanks get anything cool after at 40? Or they just get another point?
I think at 40 or 45 you get
the door reinforcement.
Heal the door, which is a big one.
I need that one.
Yeah,
that's what I'm working on.
That's a really nice thing to have.
So yeah, let's put it up for a vote somewhere, wherever we need to put it up for, and we can just keep Misfits of the Warp basically for the people who don't log in more than 2 weeks or whatever. They can stay in Misfits of the Warp.
Like Wes.
Yeah. Like,
Shut up! I'm on every week.
Okay. Right. Alts. I'm fine with alts too.
Yeah, because we can tell our guys to move alts over there.
Yeah.
Well, that would be kind of cool.
And kind of trim down the herald so that it, because what I'm noticing with these high-level guilds, they've got like 40 people tops in the guild.
Right, and they're all 40s.
Yeah.
Like they're all doing
all 40s,
stuff, and
they're all like very high, active players.
I mean, I think that would be awesome. It's like, you still have communication because of the alliance, so everybody knows where to jump back and forth or whatever. But you get everybody who's working towards the goal and not just doing alt stuff in the main guild.
Yeah, because I looked at some of the high-level guilds on our server, like Drow and Carnage, and like Carnage has 36 members. Drow, I think, is like at 50. And they're all real active, guilds, and they all have alt guilds set, for the main guild.
Yeah.
Because I need to move my Marauder. I don't play him enough, but I leave him in Heralds of the just because. But he probably should
easier.
be. Yeah, because I as the guild leader, I kind of feel like I should wear the cloak and all that.
Well, the one
too.
thing that would do is you could keep a high tax rate on the top level and keep a low tax rate on the people who are leveling.
Yeah, that's true. And the other thing that's kind of cool is our heraldry is the same. We got the same skull.
Much it is.
So anyway, I'm all for it. Whoever needs to vote for it. Let's
you talk to your people, and I will.
I just did.
Okay. Then why don't you?
I think we need to Yeah, let's experiment some more. Let's fly it over the guild a little bit. So,
no.
I mean, you hear what they say about Naker behind his back.
Things.
I mean, you know what they say.
I've actually already talked to some of the guild mates about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've got some people who are all for that.
And if they're not, they can just stay in Misfits, right? I mean, it's not like they're losing.
Yeah, Misfits isn't going away. We're just moving over.
Okay.
Cool. When we're 40, so hurry up and get there, Wes.
Okay.
No. No. Well, whatever the rules are, whatever you think the rules are I'm good with. Okay.
I mean, the only things that we don't really have tough guild rules. We have the Alliance RVR nights that we tell everyone to, come on out for those if you're on during that time. And that's really it. Pay the taxes and, don't act like an ass at an event.
Yeah. And that's pretty much what we go by. I mean, the only difference is we didn't make people fill out a survey to get in. And we'll just keep to that. We'll let them into Misfits. And if they're asshats, we'll kick them out. And if they're good and they stay, then, they can move over to Heralds or something.
Our application process, people always get like, ooh, you have to apply to Heralds. It's a cut and paste form post, and then you fill in the information, and then you're in. It's not like we look at it and really, go over it with a fine-tooth comb. It's just if you can copy and paste, then you're smart enough to be in. It's not rocket science.
Right.
Might be to some people.
Rocket
That's
man.
really elitist of you.
I know. Wes couldn't handle it, I don't think.
What am I supposed to put here?
Spencer isn't here to pick on.
Geithner sucks. Geithner sucks. Did you see SNL last night?
No.
I forget his name, but he was doing the report of the banks, and he was playing Geithner, right?
Yeah.
And it'd be like, except for Citibank, who they wrote for every question, Geithner sucks.
Okay. Are we done here?
Yeah, we've been done.
So.
I'll edit in
to
some
go to Lost
gems.
Vale.
Okay.